Doubles and coffee. Well, Law Association, whoever you are, you wake up, you put out an urgent release to say that there was some attack by citizens on the independent senators and so on, and that democracy must be allowed and freedom of speech and so on. Okay. So does the person who attacked the independent senators have the right of sharing their opinion on a matter? But that's not my point today, you know. I'm glad you wake up, you know, Law Association, because, you see me, I'm happy that you all have an opinion and you share it. I couldn't care that you agree with my position or not. I'm happy that on matters of democracy, conflict of interest, apparent bias, actual bias, independent institutions, that you're speaking up, Law Association, because you had PIP for 9.5 years. We, as the UNC opposition, had to be begging you, Law Association, to give us your opinion on critical legal matters, you know. Matters that the PNM was taking us down a rabbit hole of oppressive, tyrannical dictatorship, and we couldn't hear you. Law Association, are you, first of all, the same Law Association that when an Attorney General went and told a blatant lie, a factual untruth, signed it in a court of foreign jurisdiction in Miami, that eventually, when Kyle Taklalsing and them brought a motion, the mere fact that they had to bring a motion is in itself questionable. When a former Attorney General committed perjury, are you the same Law Association that voted that is okay? He's a good boy. He didn't mean to do it. Well, you know, he has a good track record. That's the same Law Association. When there was a collapse of the Police Service Commission merit list, as I recall, we couldn't hear from the Law Association. We were begging the Law Association to say, talk your mind. Who was the official? Who went there? Who intercepted the merit list? What was the president? Please interpret section 123(4) of the Constitution, the word shall. What were the criminal charges possible? Who was guilty? We asked the Law Association. I didn't hear anything. When he called an electoral college to have a tribunal investigate that serious issue and breach by the former president, I didn't hear the Law Association. You weren't forthcoming with any statement, fast and so on. When there was an issue, I don't know, there was an issue with an Attorney General signing an indemnity, promising all manner of things to a criminal in a criminal case, which everybody who can read knows is the sole purview of the DPP. I don't remember the Law Association coming out and condemning that PNM Attorney General for signing an indemnity. They then go ahead and make a defense when they were sued by the very criminal. They make a defense that it was illegal to sign the indemnity. Therefore, the Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, in fighting a case against himself, said that he was dishonest and he acted in bad faith and he was a liar. May read nothing from the Law Association on that. So how come you all so excited to talk now? The problem is we don't care now. Because you see, when you stay silent on critical matters, what? The Auditor General reached quite Privy Council. I'm yet to hear an opinion of the Law Association on whether the former Minister of Finance should have been investigated. How could he decide to create a committee, select a committee, pay the committee, tell the committee what to do, and let the committee report to him to investigate the Auditor General in an impasse between the Auditor General and the Ministry of Finance? I want to read. Law Association, what was your opinion? You see, these matters and many more are very critical for anybody to take you seriously, because you all have turned the legal profession into a prostitution house. Who get more brief, talk more nonsense. When you heard a senior counsel go up in the Privy Council and make the most asinine argument, or there wasn't shame in a law association. So give the Douglas a little rest now. While I'm happy, and I think this is how you should have been all the time, I'm not giving your words any real merit. Like you're not moving my spirit. You understand, law association are reading you, and you're sounding sad. You're sounding lost. You're sounding like you need to get back to basics. You need to go back and take your Hippocratic oath. That's how you're sounding to me. So, with all due respect, law association that agreed that an attorney general of the PNM could go in a court and lie. The gravest sin in law, to lie on a court of record, perjury. Y'all said that was okay. Y'all voted 2/3 to 1/3 to say, hey man, yes Lymore, yes PNM, you could do what you want. You could breach all the principles of morality, integrity, and honesty, and we will stay quiet. So law association, and furthermore, when I read your release, if you're going to make an argument, please make an argument not just on colonial relics and beliefs in a fantasy. If people are to be independent, show us, teach us, what is the standard? What is the standard for apparent bias? What's the standard for conflict of interest, actual bias? Educate the population. So don't just say somebody independent because they're independent, because the president appoint independent. Really? Is the president independent? Preaching the gospel of one party over the other? Discuss that. Because if the person or the human being or the office, whoever it may be, is biased one way or the other based on factual information, track record, and experience, then the reasonable person, the benchmark is what the reasonable person will believe. A reasonable person will believe that if the tree poison, the fruit poison. So law association, before you dictate to us, give us some argument. Treat us like we, the people, are judges, and you have to make a case. Don't come here and state your case, because I could say, when Helen Drayton was an independent senator, every one of her 23 contributions that I read from her was against Kamla Persad-Bissess's government. Does that mean she was independent? As soon as Kamla Persad-Bissess lost the government in 2015, Helen, independent Senator Drayton, became the chairman of the PNM CNMG and the chairman of the PNM NIB. Law Association, explain that to me. Go and write and analyze that and tell me that I'm wrong as a reasonable human being, even though I have a political bias, to say that Helen Drayton was not an independent senator, that she was a PNM. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm listening. Law Association. And it's replete with examples across the board. Please make a case that Martin Daly is independent when he was there, even though he was working for decades close with Keith Rowley's wife. Brilliant attorney, but they have a close relationship. He still writes columns now. And every time he makes a point, he has to slam the UNC. Please make a case for me that millions of dollars of briefs going to that law firm would mean that that human being could be independent. Explain to me that people who receive things from the government on one side, whether it's being on a state board and receiving a stipend or receiving briefs from that government, that passes or surpasses the scale, the test of apparent bias. If you're a law association, make an argument. You can't just state facts without information. You can't say carte blanche. You know nothing. And furthermore, a democratic society, you say, allow the UNC to talk to. So if any UNC member has their opinion on any bill that is coming forward, they're allowed to talk. Now we, the Senate, we cannot attack senators. And all right, no problem. We understand that convention. But you are saying that other citizens don't have that right? Please explain. Please explain that freedom of speech is only for PNM. That's what it sounds like to me. So I'm listening to you. I want the part B of your presentation. The part where you actually make a case. Where you actually say You actually state how the people should look at it, how we should treat with it, and what should be done. Because it's very easy to just put little superficial labels, hiding your own bias. Because Law Association, with all due respect, you lost your rankings. Nobody cares. Because once you can agree that an Attorney General could lie in a court of law, sign it, especially about something so heart-rending, so memorable. What a moment to be called silk, to get silk, to receive your silk, to be senior counsel, that you can't remember when you were senior counsel. You can't remember placing documents and putting submissions and cross-examining a witness, and you sign to that, and you say Law Association, that's okay. What about an Attorney General who did not even take mathematics? What about that? What is your opinion on that? What about the dumbest Attorney General to ever reach? A man who take an inordinate amount of time in law school. You all had any opinion on that? So with all due respect, Law Association, I'm reading, I'm listening. You didn't convince me yet. Okay, Law Association? So bless.